Hello, I've been speaking of some of the situations in which the missionaries went in different parts of the world and the difficulties they faced. I focus a fair bit on Papua New Guinea because that's been my experience, but it would be the case in many other countries in the Pacific, in Africa, Asia, where the foreign missionaries faced all kinds of difficulties. You're with Roger from the MSC Mission Office, and this is Mission Alive. Um, those situations were often physically very demanding because of terrain and lack of resources. Uh, there was also um, the weather, which was often very different to Europe, the fact of tropical sicknesses, malaria, and so on. The terrain, the physical terrain, was often very, very difficult. However, often coming out of rural France, the difference between life in rural France and, say, in the mountains of Papua may not have been as great as perhaps it would be today, as a missionary would come out of modern situations to a difficult situation. Some of the difficulties faced were also the cultural factors, particularly of sorcery and magic. And under the colonial government, you were dealing with a people who were subjugated to a foreign power. And this led in many cases to cargo cult, which was part of their mentality, a thinking different to the European thinking. I want to speak today of a new difficulty, a new crisis facing Papua New Guinea, and that is, of course, COVID-19. And some of the facts there are that the health system and the health facilities are poor, understaffed, underfunded, under-resourced. So, in fact, many statistics that you get about number of deaths and testing may not be accurate because often there's not the facilities to test people, particularly out in the rural areas and a lot of the rural centres. The medicines, in any case, for normal sicknesses, is often not there, and there's understaffing. So we have some statistics as of yesterday. There are about 35,000 total cases, of which there are 542 deaths. Most of the people recovered. People vaccinated are only 348 or 349,000, which is a very small percentage, 3 to 4% of the population out of about 7 million people. So it is in crisis there. The health facilities are not coping, and a lot of people are dying, and even disposal of the dead people is a difficulty. And I think they're already facing mass graves. So it is a difficult situation. Into that, you got this massive amount of misinformation. This would suit, in some ways, the traditional thinking of the people. And once they get onto this sort of thing, they will just totally believe it's true. So it's a very big work of government and the church to give people the right information and get them on the right track. This is the same sort of thinking that led to cargo cults, that there was some magical answer to the problems, to the lack of what they had, and this is feeding into what we have today. I find this rather difficult, as I do here in Australia. We have accepted for generations vaccination for measles, mumps, TB, many other sicknesses. We routinely get flu injections every year. It's a vaccination. Now, why, with this particular disease, COVID-19, which is more deadly, more serious, would people refuse vaccination? There's theories about this is a great plot. It's a scheme, to subjugate all sorts of people. Well, no organisation, no government can engineer a fake campaign like this on such a scale. It couldn't. Just can't be done. And experts have said that. Conspiracy theories in this, you couldn't organise a conspiracy on this scale, on this level. It's just a nonsense. The only way out is to get vaccinated and get on with life. And here and in Papua New Guinea. So we have connected with one of our sisters there, Sister Geraldine Arawa, and she is the health secretary for the Archdiocese of Port Moresby and responsible for two large Catholic clinics in Port Moresby. And I've spoken a little bit about this at Gerahu and Hohola. And she's concerned for the staff that are under her. So we are giving her some funding so she can purchase PPE for her staff. And that funding, if it hasn't gone out, will go to her very shortly. So this is another situation where the church finds itself in a country like Papua New Guinea, as we are in many other countries, Fiji, Kiribati, many parts of Africa, India, Vietnam. I've spoken of 3 of our seminarians in Vietnam who have volunteered to go into a COVID hospital and minister to people there. In the Philippines, the church there, the MSCs, along with all their friends and relatives and associates, actively raise funds and support COVID families that perhaps are not working, who find it difficult to support them with food and clothing and other things. So there's a lot of things going on within our Catholic Church, our Catholic world, to help people that are in need. And that's where the mission is today. Just as the French missionaries before, they set up schools, clinics, they made roads, they put in airstrips, as well as doing their work of evangelizing and catechizing. The church faces a new situation today. And I would think overcoming these conspiracy theories and, to me, in really stupid ideas about vaccination is a work of evangelization to get people onto the right track and to get a good life. So the mission is alive today, and we are helping, particularly in this case, Sister Geraldine in Port Moresby, and she's got a big mission on her hands there. Thank you for being with us on mission. And since I'm live, I've got to get the right splash plate up there.